we are moving again. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Chioma, and if you couldn't gather from today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my flat hunting experience in London. Guys, as you can see, I'm in a completely new setup. I also have a mic here, so we're leveling up in these streets. So if you are new to our channel, you may not know, but my sister and I, we have a knack for moving, and yes, we are moving again. So unfortunately, the flat that we're currently in, our landlord enacted the break clause, and so we have to now move because they want to sell the flat. So that's a little bit of the backstory as to why we're moving. It's not by choice, we have to move, which is annoying because we do really love the space that we're currently in. And guys, anyone who has done any form of flat hunting in London knows that flat hunting in London is not for the faint-hearted. It's very fast-paced, like you don't actually have a lot of time to really sit back and like take everything in. You have to be very quick and know exactly what it is that you're looking for, because it could be there one day and it could be gone the next. You could be in the process of putting in your offer and then someone says, oh sorry, you're too late, like the flat is gone. That's how awful flat hunting is in London. And I'm not the first person to say that. You've got so many videos on YouTube, you've got so many people on TikTok who have all said the same thing. There's this recent guy who posted like a series on it, and literally his experience is what my sister and I are also going through. So we kind of want to stay within the area that we are in southwest London, and we wanted to basically stay in that area because we really love it. We love the shops, we love the cafes, we love being able to just go to the river. I'm attempting to do running more. If you haven't watched my running video, definitely go check it out. But I'm trying to join the run clubs. I'm trying to be in my running girl era, and so I do love the idea of being able to run along the river because it's so beautiful. We do love the area, and so we wanted to make sure that we were still within that area in the vicinity of the power station. So when it comes to the actual flat itself, a non-negotiable is that it had to be a 2-bed, 2-bath, and a key non-negotiable for us was that the flat had to be furnished. A mattress, a bed frame, a TV unit, a center table, a rug. Those are things that normally, emphasis on the normally, but that's normally what is offered by landlords in furnished apartments. We wanted it so that the rooms only had flooring. We didn't want carpets. My sister mentioned in her DC flat hunting video that she's a very clumsy individual. I am her younger sister, so I also have that trait of clumsiness, and so I drop things, I break things, and I didn't want a situation, because I drink a lot of coffee, I didn't want to have coffee and it spill on the carpets, because cleaning carpets is not for me, and I just didn't want that. I wanted it to be a space that could be cleaned pretty easily. We also wanted the space to have a 24-hour concierge. We also wanted the space to have fob access, just to add that extra layer of security to the building. For me, another non-negotiable was that the space had to have a gym. I exercise. You guys have seen a lot of my videos in the past, and you would know that I do a lot of exercises and I tend to go to the gym often, and so I wanted the space that we were going to have a gym. Another non-negotiable was that the space also had to have some form of a co-working facility. My work allows for hybrid working, and so then when I am at home, I don't really like working in my flat or my room. I prefer to go to a co-working space. It just provides a different atmosphere, and especially when it comes to editing and doing things I do outside of work, I do like being around other people. I don't know what about it, it just makes me want to work. Another non-negotiable, and this is a bit of a weird one, but because obviously you guys know that we do content, and so we wanted a space that had quite a bit of natural lighting coming in. The area had to be by Battersea Power Station and no further than maybe like a 5-10 minute walk from the station, because we need to make sure that we're close to a tube station so we can get in and out of the city really easily, and also go in and out of the office because we both are working women, and so then obviously we wanted to make sure that we had amazing transport links. And then another non-negotiable for us is that we needed the contract to have a break clause. So that's it really in terms of non-negotiables. Some things that we didn't really mind and we could kind of let go if it wasn't there or the flat didn't have it was, we wanted a pool, but we live in the UK, guys, so realistically we don't really get to use the pool as much. And also, I'm not a swimmer. I don't swim. I like being by the pool. I love the aesthetics of being by the pool, but I don't really go into the pool. But that's really it in terms of things that we were willing to flip-flop on. So when it comes to budgets, it started off as 3,300 to 3,500, and then it kind of increased to 4, and it kind of increased to 4,500. And so 4,500 was like the max that we were willing to go for. We weren't willing to go any higher, but that was really what we were looking for in terms of the budget for the flat itself. All right guys, so that's basically it when it comes to what we were looking for in the flat and also the budget as well. This is going to be a very chilled, very relaxed video. You can grab yourself a glass. I've got myself a glass. Right now I'm going to show you all the flats that I toured, and I hope you enjoyed this journey. So sit back, enjoy. I'm going to take a sip of some Prosecco. Let's get started. So the first 2 flats that I saw were in the same development. The development was roughly around a 5 to 7 minute walk from the actual Battersea power station itself. Annoyingly, if you don't know the location, it was very confusing to find the apartments. It took me literally 20 minutes trying to figure out where I was going, and the concierge is also difficult to find, and they weren't really helpful when it came to actually telling me where is the location I'm supposed to be at, because the development has various different apartment blocks, and so the 2 flats that I was looking at were in the same apartment block. Annoyingly as well, the agent wasn't as responsive as I had hoped, and so then I ended up running around until someone was kindly enough to show me, to be like, hey, you look lost, I've seen you walk up and down, where are you trying to go? And then finally I found the agent. Annoying, but we move. But guys, the grounds itself was really nice. I went on a very good day, and it was so sunny, it was so pretty. I loved all the greenery. I really love spaces that have a lot of greenery, where you can go out and just sit down, relax, take in some fresh air, breathe. That kind of vibe is definitely what I like when it comes to the flats that I want to stay in. Going into the apartment block or flat block, whatever you want to call it, the carpets were a bit confusing, but obviously I'm not living on the carpets, I'm not living outside. Let's get to the first flat. I saw 2 flats in this apartment block, and I was showed it by 2 different agents that were managing 2 different landlords. So the first flat that I saw was a 2-bed, 2-bath, which was located on the 2nd floor. The price for this flat was £4,400 per commercial month. But as you walk in, guys, the kitchen is massive, and I love dark cabinets. I love that whole aesthetic. I was here for it. It was just seamless. Everything looked clean, it looked nice. It was furnished, and it came with a lot of furniture, but it came with the couches, it came with the TV, it came with the center table, it came with the garden furniture, it came with all the kitchen appliances, it came with the plates, it came with the bowls, it came with the glassware, champagne glasses, wine glasses, your mugs, glass mugs, cutlery, the works. It came with so many things that you really only needed to bring yourself and any other decorative things you wanted to add to the flat. But the flat was pretty much there for you to move in and live your life, because he had everything ready for you. It also came with the bed frames. I wasn't a massive fan of. I'm not a fan of wooden bed frames, but it came with the bed frame, and it also came with the mattresses. And both of the rooms had double beds. Now, going into the master bedroom, it was a bit smaller than I had hoped. And like I'd mentioned, I wasn't really a fan of the wooden bed frames. I don't know, I just don't like the idea of it. I didn't like the color either. I think it just didn't match the dark coloring or aesthetic of the kitchen. It was a bit of a mismatch, and I don't know what about it threw me off. The ensuite was nice as well, but once again, it was just really small. And this was the master bedroom, which I didn't anticipate to be as small as it was. And then the second bedroom was pretty much the same as the master bedroom, just a little bit smaller. In both of the rooms, there wasn't a lot of storage space, so you couldn't actually store a lot of like suitcases, shoes, bags in the rooms. But the actual flat had a lot of storage, and I'll get onto that in a bit. The main bathroom, guys, the main bathroom I did like. I loved the dark aesthetic. I think it matched the kitchen well. It was really nice. I had a handheld shower, which I love. I love handheld showers. It also had a rainfall shower, and also had obviously the ability to do a bath if you wanted to. And it was massive. The bathroom was really spacious. You weren't really struggling to get in. It was a lovely size for a main bathroom. Like I said, the flat had a lot of storage. I didn't film all the storage that the flat had, but there was so many cupboards. so you would have no problem packing your stuff. It also came with the Hoover or vacuum if you're American. It also came with a mop, and it also came with like drying racks and other things I wasn't expecting it to have. To be honest, I feel like the previous tenant must have left it, but either or, it was being offered to us. That means I didn't have to bring my own. So I'm not really hating on it at all. I really did like it. And then it also had a washer dryer. Now down to the downsides of this flat. So the bedrooms had carpets, and like I mentioned, one of the non-negotiables for my sister and I is that we wanted a space that had wooden floors. Carpets had a bit of stains on them, even though they tried their best to remove it. And I knew if we had carpets, we would just add to those stains because we would have dropped something on the floor. Also, the view wasn't great. I was a bit scared of filming, so I didn't really capture it too well on my camera, but all you could see was train tracks, and it was pretty loud outside. I will insert the audio of that clip. Honestly, that is what you would hear a lot, and I heard it a lot, especially when I go outside. And I love being able to go out on the balcony and just relax, especially because the weather was so nice. And so seeing train tracks and hearing screaming children wasn't screaming a place I wanted to be in, if that makes sense. Also, the rooms were quite small and there was no real natural light coming in. We had to turn on all the lights in order to really brighten up the space, and that's something I knew I did not want. And so I knew that this flat probably wasn't for us. But the main thing that made it a bit not really was that they were asking for £4,400 per month, and that was a bit like on the high end of our budget. It was also one of the first flats that I saw, and so it was nice, and we said we could possibly put in an offer, but it wasn't, I don't know, something about it just wasn't really screaming my sister and I. And to be fair, when we had decided to put in an offer on the flat, because it was a strong contender in comparison to other ones we saw, unfortunately he said that someone had already put an offer in, and so then we waited too long. We waited, I think, 3 days, and in those 3 days someone had already put in an offer and it went off the market. So yeah, annoying. But that was the first flat. Now, the second flat that I saw in this same apartment block, which was showed to me by a different estate agent, was actually a 2-bed 1-bath. It was also a furnished apartment, and it was on the market when we looked at it for £3,300. It's now currently on the market for, and I can get the exact number, it's now on the market for £3,467. I will get more into why I think that's a bit funny later on. But this apartment was also quite nice actually. It was located on the 9th floor, I believe. I could be wrong, I can't actually remember. But when I say furnished, I'm using this term lightly, especially when you compare it to the other flat, which basically had everything. This one had the bare necessities. So as soon as you walk in, you are greeted with the kitchen on the left hand side, and this flat had a lighter theme in comparison to the first flat that I showed you, which I didn't really mind, to be honest. It was still a very nice kitchen. It came with only the dining table and the couch, so everything else in the clip was owned by the person who was currently staying in that property. But there was nothing else really to see in the living room area itself. There was a washer and dryer. Most of the flats that I saw had it. There wasn't really a flat that I can think of the top of my head that didn't offer a washer dryer unit. But what I did love about this flat, which I preferred over the last one, was that the view looked out onto the courtyard. And guys, I already mentioned at the beginning, I loved the courtyard. I think it was so pretty. I loved the greenery, especially in the summer. You could just sit outside on your balcony. And so the first room in terms of size was similar to the first apartment, but once again there wasn't a lot of natural light coming in. The room itself was really dark. This room came with a bed and a mattress. I say that because the other room didn't come with a bed and a mattress. The second bedroom, which is odd, was slightly bigger than what they said was the master bedroom, and that bedroom didn't have any bed or anything in it. You would have to supply your own. We didn't really mind too much because we had like a bed frame and a mattress in storage, so we would have just bought that out. But it was a bit weird that you are advertising your flat as furnished, but you're only providing 1 bed and 1 mattress for a 2-bed flat. Now, the bathroom, because it was the only bathroom, was actually really big. I have no problem with the bathroom. It was similar to the first flat, that it was really big. It had a darker aesthetic. It had the handheld shower. It had the bathtub. It had the rainfall shower. So you couldn't really fault it. It was a nice bathroom. And also, guys, what really put me off about this space, and what put my sister off as well, was that the landlord was asking for 6 months rent up front. He wanted a lump sum payment up front, and that the contract also had no breaks, and you had to have the contract for an 18-month period. We had no issue with the 18-month period, but the fact that you're telling me that one, you're not offering any form of breaks in the contract, it's just 18 months straight, and then I have to also provide you 6 months up front, it's weird to me. And when I told him that that's something I've never seen landlords do, he was like, oh, we noted it down in the listing. And I was like, but you didn't, because I made sure I read literally every single terms and conditions, small print, whatever you call them, when I'm putting in inquiries. And it's funny to me that as soon as I flag that, I go and look again and it's now been added. Just come and say you didn't add it, but that's what the landlord wanted. But anyway, at that point, we're just like, we're not doing that. We're not offering 6 months up front. And so that's why I find it funny that they've now increased the price to I think it was £3,467. And they've removed the fact that you have to do a 6 month upfront payment, because obviously no one wanted to do it. And bear in mind, like, there were so many people viewing this property, like, as soon as he finished me, someone else is going in, and he showed somebody else before me. So I knew there was a lot of traction when it came to this listing, but the fact that the landlord wanted 6 months up front, obviously no one wanted it. Hence why they've now removed it and just increased the monthly payment, which makes sense. It was, at the time, the cheapest flat that we had seen, and so then I feel that that was like the USP, that, oh, we're the only place on the market that's offering this rent. I don't have to do much because we are not even operating at market level. But at the same time, most of the places we saw 2 bed, 2 bath. So I was like, yeah, you're not operating at market level because you're not at market level. Like, you got to compare like for like, apples and apples. You can't be comparing apples and oranges. Now, the amenities. Guys, I am not going to lie, the amenities of this space, and it is amazing, was a bit of me. So the first thing I saw was the pool, and the pool is actually located underneath the concierge, which is at the very front of the development. And they've got a pool. The pool was really nice, but the pool is so empty because obviously I went on one of the hottest days in London, so obviously no one was there. They've got these really weird white beach-esque chairs. They're not comfortable, not even slightly, but I love the aesthetic. And it's an indoor pool, so then it doesn't really matter what weather it's like, you could always use it. It also has a jacuzzi, it also had a sauna, and it also had a steam room. The rest of the amenities was located at the very back of the development. It's quite hidden, so unless you knew about it, you wouldn't know about it. Mind you, all of the amenities were free of charge, so you didn't have to actually rent out or pay for anything, and it operated on a first come, first serve basis. First, there was the meeting room, and the meeting room was so nice. They designed it so well. It was so bright, there was so much natural light in it, and it had like a TV that you can connect your laptop to. So if you were having meetings, you could have it on a big screen, and then you can conduct your meetings from the tables. And then as soon as you come out of the meeting room, there was like this loungy, more relaxed, chilled area where you can just go and sit down. And then also on the opposite side, they have like these more secluded areas. Now on the opposite side, you had the games room. So it had the fusible table, it had like this, I don't know what it's called, but you know those things where you throw it and you have to knock the other player off? Don't know what the game's called, but it had that board as well. And they also had a pool table, which is a bit of me. I'm not good at pool, but I love playing pool when my friends are around. It had like a music room where you could go play piano, you could do piano lessons. Now for me, the piece de resistance, something I've never seen in any other development, is a karaoke room. My friends know me, and they know karaoke. Karaoke is what I would always do when I was in Korea. And anybody who lives in London knows that karaoke costs you an arm and a leg. So the idea that there's a karaoke room in my apartment block that I don't have to pay for, I was like, I'm here, I love it. And then they also had like a digital room, which is kind of similar to where I'm in right now, which is where you can just go film if you wanted to. They also had a theatre. I couldn't film the theatre because there was someone using it, but you can go and then you can connect your laptop, watch movies. They also had popcorn stands. So you can go and get yourself some popcorn, which is free of charge. Everything's free of charge. They also had like a drink station where you can go watch a movie, enjoy drinks, have your friends, the shebang. And then you could also go to the rooftop. They had like a little seating area, which I hadn't seen before. Once again, it was really nice. The sun was shining that day, so it was so pretty. Honestly, I was here for the amenities of the space. The downside, this place did not have a gym, and the way that they tried to word it was making it seem that they had like a partnership with like a chain gym. And I was like, my sister and I saw this development when we first moved into the area, and the reason that they gave was that they basically just like they had stopped usage of the gym because guests were letting their friends use the gym free of charge. that they were going to build their own gym, but this time around they just said, oh, the door's broken, and so you have to go a different way. And I was like, the door seems to be broken for 2 years. Just come and say you're not fixing the door, and it's fine, but you don't have a gym. And I was like, okay, do you have a partnership with this gym that residents get to use it free of charge? Because obviously you're spending, like, depends how much. I should be able to use the gym. And I was like, no, you have to get your own private membership. So okay, cool. So I'm paying £4,400 and there's no gym. Seems like a bit of a missed opportunity given other developments in the area. Nearly all of them have gyms or some form of place where you can do some form of exercise. Seems like a bit of a missed opportunity, especially when everything else is amazing with this development. This is the one thing that has really, I believe, stopped people from wanting to move in, because there's no gym. But anyway, that was the first 2 apartments that I saw that were in this development. So the next apartment that I saw was a similar distance from the power station, again just in the opposite direction. It was a 2-bed 2-bath in a place called Riverlight, and it was on the market at the time for £3,600, and it was partly furnished. So this was, I think, the 3rd attempt to try and see this apartment. With this space, it was very difficult to find the entrance. I knew it wasn't going to be the place my sister and I would want to stay in. And concierge is in a completely different building to where the apartment was. And so when I asked concierge, where is it that I need to go? They were also confused. They also did not know where it is that I needed to go, which was worrying. And it didn't have the same level of security as the other place had. So once I figured out how to get into the building, it was actually located on the side at the back, which was weird, but okay. We go into the lift, and the lifts had a lot of stains. It looked like it hadn't been cleaned in weeks. Feces of an animal in the lift in the corner that hadn't been cleaned. There was dried yellow stains on the glass. I don't know what it could be, but that's what was there. But something that I do need to say is that the development had been around for a long time. I think it was one of the first that popped up in the area. So it's been really and truly like 10 years. So you can see there was a lot of wear and tear, that it's been lived in. And that was also the same kind of condition the apartment was in. So as soon as you enter the flat itself, the first thing you see is a washer and dryer. Then I go into the master bedroom and greeted with the toilet, which is odd that I open the door, the first thing I see is a toilet. The one like saving grace of the bathroom was that it had a walk-in shower, but apart from that, it was really tight and really small. It was difficult for me to close the door when I was in the toilet space. There wasn't enough space. The sink was small, the sink was dirty. There was hair still in the sink, even though the estate agent had said it had been professionally cleaned. I was like, I don't think it's been cleaned just yet, because there was still hair in the sink. There was still like grimy, moldy stains around the rim of the sink. It's annoying because the camera doesn't pick it up well, but like that's what I saw. It was not cute. It wasn't a nice environment, especially for the price that you're paying. You would just expect it to be upkept better. The bedroom was a decent size. To be fair, there was a lot of natural light that was coming in, so that was quite nice to see. But the chest of drawers was really big and took up a lot of the space as you walked in. There was a lot of discoloration as well in the room. There was a lot of stains on the carpet. There was a lot of red blood-like stains on the carpet. And it's frustrating because the guy has said that the place had been professionally cleaned, so there was no way for them to actually remove the stains off the carpet, which is not what you want to hear, especially when it's like blood-like looking stains and to be told that you can't remove it from the carpet. The windows were really dirty. There was a lot of wear and tear. You could tell that it had been lived in multiple times. It was just showing signs of it. The blinds were also broken and the wardrobe was broken. And to be fair, the guy did say that anything when it comes to like actual things which are broken could be fixed and the landlord will be willing to fix them. So that was quite nice, and that was like a saving grace. The view from the master bedroom was okay. It wasn't amazing. I think because of how it's been built, there's not much you can see bar from the other apartment blocks in the development, which isn't the nicest of views, but you did get like that one little sliver, if that makes sense, of the Thames. The second bedroom was small but similar to the first bedroom. It had its own balcony, which was quite nice. So all the balconies connected, and so that you can join them all from any room that you were in. The main bathroom, however, was actually a pretty decent size, and I actually didn't mind the main bathroom. I think it was pretty nice. I think it was the nicest space in the flat. But similar to the ensuite, there was obviously just signs of wear and tear, and there was still a bit of mold in the actual bath itself by the overhead shower. And the kitchen and the living room, all right size, pretty spacious. Like I could see where you could put a couch, where you put your TV, and how you would design the space. It didn't bring in as much natural light in comparison to the other 2 rooms, but it wasn't bad. The kitchen felt a bit cramped. It was a lot smaller than the kitchens I saw in the last 2 properties I showed you, but I actually really did like the design of the kitchen. And then when you come to amenities, they didn't really have any. I was shown this meeting room, co-working space, residence lounge all in one, which was located in a different building, which was like 5 minutes away from the building where the flat I was seeing was. I was like, okay, so in order for me to go and use this space, I have to walk out. There's no underground route. You've got to go outside and walk 5 minutes to get to this location. And there wasn't really much there. They did say there was a gym and there was a pool, but we were not allowed to see it. And the only glimpse that you had of this gym and pool was like they had like this like an iPad at concierge which showed you images of what the pool and the gym looked like 10 years ago. So you have no idea what the gym looks like now, but there is pictures and images of what the gym looked like 10 years ago. So the pricing of the flat was in our budget. So obviously there was a lot of wear and tear. It's been available to people for years, and it's just, you can tell it had been lived in. That was it. And to be fair, I just didn't think it was worth the price, given that there are newer developments out on the market that don't have the same level of wear and tear, that have better views of London. We did not go with the space. We thought it was too expensive for what it was offering. It was also just too outdated. So the next 3 apartments that I saw were all in the same development, but they were just in different buildings of that development. The development itself is literally right by the station. You are less than 5 minutes door to door from each of these apartments to the station. The power station was also so close, so this was like a very good location. So when it comes to the amenities, I forgot to film it, I am so sorry, but the amenities are really nice. They have a gym which is massive, it's spacious, it is airy, it has all the equipment you can think of. It's got like a weights rack, it's got a Smith machine, it's got weights, it's got dumbbells, it's got resistance bands, it's got foam rollers, it's got elliptical machines, the new treadmills that have all the different settings. It's got like the One Rebel classes on it as well. You've got the spin bikes that also have One Rebel classes. You've got the Stairmaster, which is the devil's machine. Don't know whoever created it, hates humans, but it literally has everything you can expect. Like, it was really good. The gym, I can't fault it. And then it also has like what's called a sky lounge, which spans across 3 different floors, where it's got like a roof gardens, which you get amazing views of the power station, amazing views of London. You also have there like a bar loungy kind of area where you can go get drinks, which have happy hour. It's got a pool table, it's got a ping pong table, also a great place you can just go sit, relax, chill, unwind. And then it's also got another floor which is more of like a co-working space, and you can go do your work. It's got TVs in there, it's got a cinema room, and it's also got like a meeting room that you can also book via their app, all that kind of jazz. But the amenities is actually really nice. The only thing they don't have is a pool, and also they have concierge between 8 AM and 8 PM, so it wasn't 24 hours like we had hoped. What we do love is that the security aspect of it, so they have fob access, and so there are so many barriers until you actually get to the apartment itself. You don't have a fob to get into the apartment, you have to use a key, but that's the amenities. So the first apartment that I saw was in one of the newer buildings of the development. It was part furnished, so there wasn't a lot of furniture it came with, and it was on I can only laugh. And it was on the market for £4,700 per month. It was a bit over budget. So when you walked into the apartment, the kitchen / dining room is the first thing that you saw. The kitchen was pretty nice. It was a decent size, and there was a lot of natural light coming in. It was just the floor to ceiling windows made the space look bigger, and I really did like it. So I went to go see the first bedroom, and the first bedroom was a lot smaller than I had hoped it would be. I'm not sure if this was how the flat was designed or how the resident had actually designed the space for himself, because there was a guy staying there. So it felt small, but it could just be because there was a lot of stuff in there. The ensuite though, for the master bedroom, had the bathtub, it had the handheld shower, and it also had the rainfall shower. The only thing I didn't like about the bathroom was the colour. I don't like gold fixtures with that marbling, and so I wasn't a fan of the bathrooms in this flat, purely because of the colouring. But guys, this bathroom was massive. It was huge. So it was the first time I had seen his and her sink in a flat. It was a nice bathroom. The only thing I didn't like was the colour. Then I went to the second bedroom. It was similar to the first bedroom, and also the room didn't come with a bed. Then I went to go see the main bathroom, and that's the bathroom that had the walk-in shower. So it's still the same sort of design you get with 2 beds, 2 baths. It's just the main bathroom had the walk-in shower, and then the master had the bathtub. The only issue that I had when I was touring the space was that there wasn't a lot of storage space in comparison to the other apartments I had seen. And also the bedrooms had carpets. I don't know what it is about these developments and carpets, but the bedroom had carpets. The view was awful. The view was awful. All we could see was trains, and I don't want to see trains. You could see like this cat and dog home from the view as well, but I would prefer to see more greenery as opposed to train tracks. Plus, everything you see in the winter garden, that is the furniture that comes with the apartment. All the furniture that you see in the actual flat itself was bought by the resident and would not be left in the flat. It would be taken by the resident. There's no dining table, there's no dining chairs, there's no rug. The couch, which was in a beautiful find by the resident, was his. So the couch that's in the winter garden, that really grey, not nice couch, is what actually comes with the apartment that costs £4,700. And so we're just like, for £4,700, I don't know, I think we expected more and it didn't deliver. But that was the first apartment we saw in this development. So the next 2 flats that I saw are kind of similar. It's just one was unfurnished and that was located on the 4th floor, and one was furnished, which is located on the 8th floor. So the one that's on the 4th floor was a 2-bed, 2-bathroom. It was on the market for £4,440. This was unfurnished. When you walk in, there was so much natural light. But as soon as you walk in on the left, you have the kitchen. I love the wooden aesthetic with the white countertops. I really, really thought it was beautiful. I thought it looked seamless. I thought it looked chic. I loved it. There was lots of storage space. And there's a lot of like countertop space. All of the cupboards were press touch cupboards, so you just have to press it and it would open. You've got the integrated fridge, you've got the integrated freezer. There was also an integrated dishwasher, which I don't think I showed or took a video of. And then the microwave was touchscreen, and then you got this really nice fan oven. The main bedroom was pretty small considering that it was the master bedroom. Both of the bedrooms though, which I do love, had laminate flooring. There was also a lot of natural light coming in, and there was a lot of closet space in this apartment. The closet space was also on each side of the walkway just before the ensuite bathroom, and each of the cupboards had motion sensors, so you just have to open it and there will be a light that turns on, which is really nice. The ensuite was massive. There was more than enough space. The shower has 2 settings, so one for the handheld and one for the rainfall shower. It also has had heating, and there was underfloor heating as well. There was a huge mirror as soon as you walk in, and they also had lighting around the mirror itself that you could turn on if you wanted to for more light to come into the bathroom, which I was here for. So the second bedroom was a decent size considering it's the second bedroom. Once again, a lot of natural light. This space just had so much natural light coming in, it was beautiful. There wasn't as much closet space in comparison to the master bedroom, but I can imagine it's because it's the second bedroom, there wouldn't be as much closet space. Then the main bathroom, it was a bit tight for me to get in and actually see the bathtub. You have to like fully step in, close the door, and then you see the bathtub. But I loved the mirror as I walked in, and similar to the ensuite bathroom, it also had lights around the edges, and so then you could make it brighter depending on the amount of light that you wanted in the bathroom. So this bathroom had the bathtub, and it has 3 settings, so one for the bathtub itself, handheld shower, and then for the rainfall shower. It also has underfloor heating and wall heating. As soon as you exit the bathroom, you also have the utility cupboard, which is just another space for storage. The space also had a washer and dryer unit as well. Then to the winter garden. Oh, I love the winter garden. There was so much light. You had a really nice view of the power station and an amazing view of the courtyard as well. This apartment honestly was amazing. The only thing that made us a bit hesitant was the fact that it was unfurnished and was already at that price point of over £4,400, which was at the top of our budget, especially because it's unfurnished. It meant that we then had to buy more things to obviously furnish the apartment. So So then the next apartment that I saw was in the same building, and this one was on the 8th floor, and this one was furnished. So this one was a 2-bed, 2-bath, and it was on the market for £4,333. It was basically similar in terms of the other apartment that I saw. It's just the kitchen was on the other side of the apartment as opposed to on the left-hand side. This apartment had more storage space than the first apartment. So this apartment was furnished, but the landlord was actually willing to add, like, I believe a couch. I asked for more dining chairs, I asked for an additional bed, an additional bed frame. There was so much natural light in this apartment, similar to the first one I saw. I loved the bathrooms a bit more in this apartment. So the bedrooms actually were a lot bigger in size in comparison to the first apartment that I saw. So the master bedroom was bigger, it had more natural light that was coming in. The bed was broken, but I mentioned that to the estate agent that was showing me around. He was like, the landlord was more than willing to get a new bed frame in, so that wasn't even an issue. And he was also accommodating in the fact that we didn't want like a chest of drawers that was in the master bedroom, and they were willing to take that out for us. The ensuite design wasn't as nice. I was a bit confused by it, as this one had wood, whereas the other one had a different design. So I was a bit confused as to why there was 2 different designs in the same flat. And then the second bedroom was a lot bigger than the other bedroom in the other apartment. And there was also more closet space in this apartment, which I was here for. The view was also similar to the view that I saw on the 4th floor. We had amazing views of the power station and also amazing views of the courtyard. So we did put in an offer, and we were actually able to get the offer a bit lower than the asking price. The downside about this apartment though was that there were no break in the contract. So the landlord wanted 18 months, no break. And so then we were a bit hesitant because we really wanted a break clause in our contract. That's kind of the reason why we decided not to go with this apartment. No matter how many times we offered so many different things, they were very adamant that they were not going to add a break clause into the contract. Which is annoying because we really did love this apartment. We really, really wanted this apartment, but we really needed a break clause, but the hunt continues. So then the last 2 apartments that I saw were in this other development called the Lark in Battersea. And this one is a bit more of a walk in comparison to the other apartment. So with this place, it was actually really hard for me to find. For some reason, Google Maps was making it difficult for me to find actually where this place was. Another thing which didn't help starting the viewing was that I couldn't get in. I had rung concierge, I had tried to email, I had tried to call. There was no communication, nothing was happening. Thankfully, after 15 minutes of standing outside, someone had opened the door because they were leaving, and I then managed to get in. But in terms of amenities, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot. And I say that because I think the one amenity which I really need is a gym. And this place did not have a gym per se. It had a treadmill, it had a bike, it had a rowing machine, and it had like an all-in-one inclusive weights, like lat pull down row machine, but it wasn't a gym. It was somewhere where you can go, you can do a run, you could do some yoga exercises, but it just wasn't an apartment gym. There was also no pool, but it did have a really nice co-working space. I think by far this was one of the best co-working spaces that I had seen in all the apartments. I have to commend the co-working space. I did love it. It also had a coffee machine. You get your lattes. It had like all the sauces and like the syrups and all that kind of jazz you can put in your coffees. So you would never have to buy your own ever again. You could just go downstairs and make a coffee. They also had 3 meeting rooms, and I was able to get a clip of the meeting room. And the meeting rooms is first come, first serve. None of the amenities you have to book here, of the amenities they have. Then they also have a cinema room, and the cinema room was actually one of the largest ones I'd seen. It had a PS5, so you could play the PS5 games if you're into that. They also do have regular resident events as well, which I thought was a really nice touch. However, unfortunately, the space did remind me of a student accommodation, and so then when she was showing me around the apartments, I just wasn't really in it because it just reminded me of the accommodation that I stayed at when I was at Durham. What is nice is that everything was fob access, and they did have a 24-hour concierge. So they weren't really too happy with me filming, so I tried to get as many clips as I possibly could. Both of the apartments that I saw were 2-bed, 2-bath. So the first apartment was located on the 7th floor, I believe. I don't know the price off by heart, but I will put it down below just here so you can see what the pricing is. It was roughly, I think it's 3,700, this apartment. As you entered the apartment, It was actually really nice. I like how it was designed. As you walk in on the right hand side for this apartment, you go with the master bathroom, and the bathroom was actually really nice. I really like the design of the bathroom. It was really spacious. I wasn't really struggling and squeezing. It had the bathtub, handheld shower, rainfall shower. Like, it was a really nice bathroom. There was nothing bad I could say. It looked brand new. Apparently only one person had lived in it before, and so then everything was relatively new, and you could tell there was barely any scratches, there was barely any marks of wear and tear, there was no mold whatsoever. So the rooms actually were fine. I think they were a decent size. I loved the fact that the rooms had mirrors, so I didn't have to buy my own. And then the actual master bedroom was really big. I was expecting it to be smaller. It was a really big bedroom. Once again, I can't complain. It had the same storage space as the second bedroom, so it had the wardrobe with the mirror. The room has so much natural light, and the ensuite was actually really nice. It had a walk-in shower, which was pretty standard. And then the actual living area, because I was facing away from the light, it looks dark, but the space was actually really, really bright. Like, the way that it was on the corner, there was so much light coming in from so many different angles. The view wasn't the best, I can't lie. It didn't really have much of a view, but it did come with garden furniture, and it was quite nice, and it wasn't loud at all. Like, even though there was construction, they said it was going to be finished within the next month or so, and then after that you'll end up just seeing this really nice courtyard. And then the next apartment I saw in the same building was on the 10th floor, and it's basically the exact same in terms of how it was styled. It had a bit more furniture, and it was just a little bit bigger. Apparently all the furnished apartments have the same style, and so then you have the table that's round, you've got like a red console table, you've got the wooden side tables, you've got the bed frames, and all the beds were double beds. I think it's because it's owned by like one body as opposed to individual landlords, and so that's why all the apartments, regardless if they're unfurnished or furnished, are quite standard across the board and designed in a similar fashion, because only one person doing it, or one organizational body doing it. But honestly, like, the only issue with this development was the fact that it didn't have a gym. I 100% believe that had this space had a gym, I think my sister and I would have taken it, 100%. That's the only reason why we didn't go with it, because it didn't make sense to spend all that money, because it was on par with the other developments that we saw, and then have to then get another gym membership, be it at Equinox, be it at Third Space. Financially, just didn't make sense, given the fact that we're in an area and all of them have gyms, far from the First Space, but most of them have gyms. And so once again, for Battersea, it seems like a missed opportunity that there wasn't an investment in a proper gym. But that was the last apartments that I saw in our little flat hunting expedition. Oh, guys, that was a lot of talking, you know. Oh, if you stayed to the end, thank you so much. I had to get myself a sip because, my God, my throat. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below which apartment was your favorite, and actually which apartment you think my sister and I went with. It might be quite difficult to figure it out, but let us know if you know which one it was. Just drop a comment down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video of our apartment hunting in London. Hopefully this will be our last apartment hunting in London for a long time. As you guys know, it's a stressful process, and I don't want to go through this for at least another year if we can, because I'm tired. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so if you're not already, join the family. We are a family out in the streets, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Why am I so afraid just to say a hello? Hey. Or to pick up the phone just to say what is up? It's been a long time, and I've been thinking. Give you a call to shoot the shit and fill you in, we're reminiscing. Yeah. On the dumb thing.